entire country risked it all on Bitcoin. They almost lost everything. After decades of economic woes and with no currency to call their own, a small beach town called El Zonte in El Salvador decided to try an experiment with Bitcoin. An anonymous Bitcoin whale donated a ton to the infrastructure of this tiny beach town, and they adopted Bitcoin as their main currency. Using that small beach town as an example, El Salvador became the first country on earth to make Bitcoin legal tender in 2021. This was a major bet on Bitcoin and included buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of the asset using public money for a so-called Bitcoin reserve. Alongside this, they opened up a Bitcoin mining operation using the country's natural abundance of volcanic energy. People started using Bitcoin every day, and they were given $30 to set up their own Bitcoin wallet as citizens of El Salvador. People began calling the nation the first ever Bitcoin country. In 2022, everything collapsed. The price of Bitcoin fell drastically, and the country was in the red for millions of dollars. Currency that everyone relied on was suddenly heavily devalued. People started to question whether the risk this country took on Bitcoin was going to backfire, plunging them into even worse economic disaster than before. In the face of all the FUD, the president actually decided to buy the dip, and by March 25th, they had over 6,000 Bitcoin worth over $500 million. Turns out that risky play really worked out, but not as well as they had liked. International Monetary Fund said they would not support El Salvador with a $1.5 billion grant unless they rolled back some of their Bitcoin decisions. They argued that Bitcoin as legal tender didn't meaningfully increase financial inclusion or digital remittances. And in their eyes, the Bitcoin experiment had failed. The country was forced to change Bitcoin participation from mandatory to voluntary, but the whole time maintained the position that Bitcoin was going to return stronger than ever. Do you think the idea of an entire country risking their economy on Bitcoin was smart? Without the pressure of the IMF, would they have continued to have been successful? Do you think Bitcoin makes a viable legal tender? Only time will tell.